This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2025 Forest River Salem veranda, model 32Veranda. And this is not a floor plan video, it's more of a how-to video. So I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work, okay? So you can see your back slides out here. It's back deck, and you have power stabilizers on all four corners of the trailer. One switch controls both rear, and there's another switch up front that controls both front. But you also, once you have extended the back of it, you can actually use these cranks to stabilize it back here. So 6 points of stabilization. You have a power awning with an LED strip, TV hookup, a mount, signal out plus power, large windows, of course your front stabilizer, switch. Now this is the fill for the fresh water tank. 9 times out of 10 you're going to be using the city water hookup to get water to the trailer. You just hook the hose on there, turn it on, and you're all set. But if you're camping someplace that doesn't have city water, you're boondocking or whatever, you can pre-fill this tank here and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. So I'll show you the switch for it when we get inside, and we can talk more about the water also as we move around the trailer. Okay. So, your storage here, this mechanism here is obviously for your bed in the bedroom, and you have 2 cranks here. Now, this one has a cylinder with a slot cut in it. I don't know how well you can see that. If we go to the other side of the trailer to the stabilizers, there's a shaft with a pin stuck through it. This will fit right on there, and you can actually crank the jacks manually if you have to get yourself out of trouble in case there's some kind of a problem with them. So you always have a backup plan when it comes to the jack. Same thing with your power tongue jack. This smaller crank here is for the power tongue jack. If it fails, you can pull this plug on the top right here, put that crank on there, and you can crank the power tongue jack manually also if you need to. Okay. 2 LP tanks, of course. That's the kill switch for your battery. You turn it on and off. This is the vent for your furnace. Here we have the your dump valves here. So you can pretty much identify them. The black valve is right here, this larger one. The larger valve is always the black one. So they'll have 1.5 inches. Those are generally gray water, and then the larger one will be for your black tank. Now when you dump your black tank, it has a flush here. This is the city water connection here. That's the most common way to get water to the trailer we spoke about. This is for the flush. Like it says here on this sticker, always have the black tank valve open before you turn the water on for the flush. So after you dump your tank, you'll have your hose hooked up obviously, and the hose will go into the dump station. Then you'll pull your black tank valve here and you'll leave it open. Then you'll hook the hose up here on the flush, and you'll turn the water on. But always run the water when the valve's open. You don't want too much pressure to build up and cause issues, okay? You have on-demand water, hot water. So this is the outside of the unit. This is the master switch here. It's off now. You'll leave it off when you're not camping and when you're in storage, that sort of thing. I'll show you the control for it inside, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. The main thing is right now we have antifreeze in the system, so I can't really run it, but I'll talk you through the whole thing, okay? It's a great thing. One of the problems with camping was that 6-gallon or 10-gallon, but usually they were a 6-gallon water tank, hot water tank, and now you got all the water you need. So you have a 50 amp power cord with a reducer. Okay. Another dump for your sink here on the rear end. Okay. This housing up here, if you can see it below the word Salem, it tells us this is pre-wired for a backup camera, a Furion backup camera kit. So if you're interested in that, we sell them. You can get them elsewhere. Just make sure you get the proper kit to fit that housing. And while we're looking up, the manufacturer states every 90 days you should inspect your roof. So you want to send somebody up there. Be very careful, of course. You want to make sure that there's no cracking or separation at any of the sealant where water could get through. You want to look at the roofing material and the roofing attachments. Make sure they haven't been damaged by low branches or road debris flying up there, anything like that. So you always want to regularly inspect it. Odds are you won't have to do anything to the roof for years, but you just don't know unless you inspect it. So that should be part of your regular routine. Okay, so let's go inside here. Put the slide rooms out. Okay, so we'll go back here to the control panel. We'll get some lights. So here we have slide out number 1. Just keep your finger on the button until you hear the either a stop or the ratcheting sound. It's the ratcheting sound. That means it's extended. It'll do the same thing coming in. Let's look in here just for the heck of it while I'm standing here. Okay. And this one is for your power awning. The power awning is pretty, it's self-evident, but the main thing obviously is to not leave it out unsupervised. So if you're not going to be at the campground, keep it rolled in. Otherwise the damage or the weather can do damage to it. This is your main light switch here, and it also has a dimmer next to it. Oh, your water pump is right here. Remember we talked about pumping water out of the fresh water tank if you don't have city water. This is also used to winterize the trailer. Okay, and then of course these are lights, and then you have your tank monitors and your battery level and that sort of thing. It graduates up in 1/3 increments. Okay, these are thermostats. This one's for the front AC, and this one is for the heating and cooling in the living area. They're very simple. You're just going to push it till you get the mode to start flashing. Then you select the mode by moving the wheel. Right there is heat, for example. You select that. Temperature, you can raise and lower it, right? And then you hit it again and you're all set. To shut it off, you're going to get the mode flashing, and then you'll scroll to off right there, and you're off. Okay? Alright, so here we are. This is your trash, obviously. In here he has some straps to strap down your chairs, it looks like. This is a water filter that comes with it, and this is the wrench for the water filter canister. So if you use the water filter, you have to change it every season. So you throw it out in the when you winterize it, you put a new one in after you de-winterize it in the springtime. Okay, your keys are hanging here. There's no gas on this trailer right now, so I'll have to talk you through it. But it's very simple. You just turn the sparker clockwise to light it. Right, you got the 3 knobs, 3 burners. This is your oven. You're going to keep it depressed while you light it. Once it lights, there's a pilot light down here. You'll see it light. You still hold it in for another 10 or 15 seconds to heat up the thermocouple. Then you go to operating temperature. When you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light, so you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. And you have lights here, okay? This device here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green. If it's not green, get it serviced. Don't put it in the back of your mind or ignore it. Get it taken care of because it's very important, obviously. Always travel with this down. This is your microwave, right? And of course your range hood, fan and light. Make sure this is when you're bringing in the slide room. Now make sure this applies to all the way around the trailer, but obviously make sure this is down in this position so it doesn't get damaged bringing it in. Okay. Your refrigerator is a 12-volt DC refrigerator, so it runs on 12 volts. Okay. Got a pantry here. Your sleeping area. You have a hide-a-bed here. These cushions come right off. And you stow them somewhere else. You can fold it out into a bed. You have some storage underneath this one here. This is here. Let's see if we're unlocked here. What do we got? This would be the switch for your deck. We'll push out and see what happens here. There we go. Another cold morning. It's supposed to warm up today though to almost 50 degrees I'm told. Same thing. When it starts ratcheting, you take your finger off it. Also you have light here with a dimmer. Okay. And I guess we can step out here. So you have a huge griddle here. Now the griddle has to be plugged in, so there is your quick connect for it. And it plugs in, let's see. I believe there's another quick connect. We'll have to, I don't see it sitting here. I didn't check this out beforehand, but there'll be a place to plug it in and we'll, oh, okay, all right. So it's already over here. It actually plugs in right here onto this piece here, okay? So we can show you that when you pick up, but that's how you connect the LP to the griddle. And then you have a sink here. This folds up and, you know, obviously, and then storage underneath. So outside speakers, and of course there's a stairway down here also, so you have a way to enter and exit right there. All right. You have a huge fireplace. And you have remotes for everything, so I'm kind of looking to see where he might have put the remotes. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. Let's see. Let's see. Where would they be? Ah, here we go. Sorry about my camera work. Being all over the place. Normally we'll have this out, but we've got new people who've got their own way of doing things here. You get a little kit to touch up your woodwork and what have you. Well, heck, it's in here anyway. I'll just move on and use this manually for now. But there is a remote with it. So there you have it. Whoops. You can see it says low there. That's the fan speed. High. And then low, back to high. So right now, you're really kicking out the heat. It's a really good space heater. And it runs on campground AC power. So you don't, on those days where it's not quite cold enough to run the furnace, you can save your limited supply of LP gas and use campground energy on that, okay? And of course your TV works like any other TV, except, let me get on my feet here, except, yeah, it's just like any other TV. Yes. So when it comes to sound, we'll have to come back over here. This has Bluetooth system. So this is your Bluetooth here. and you'll hook up with your phone or tablet, and it's all self-explanatory, as you can see. So that's where your Bluetooth and your sound comes from. I think this is that for this room. I think we've covered it. Let me look around real quick. I believe so, yes. Okay. Alright, so go to the bathroom here. You have a sliding door, obviously. Always keep the doors, sliding doors, latched when you're traveling. Never just let them flop around and flail around. Okay. So, we'll start off with this. This is the controller for your on-demand hot water. So this button, Celsius and Fahrenheit, just changes it back and forth. This is on and off. This is up and down with your set temperature. It usually defaults to 120, sometimes 115, but we'll just say it defaults to 120. All you're going to do is, once you have, you have your antifreeze is purged from the system and you're ready to be camping, it has to have one of these two things. It either has to have the city water hooked up with the water turned on, or it has to have water in the fresh water tank with the pump turned on. If it doesn't sense one of those two things, it will not light the burner. It's a safety feature, obviously, so it doesn't get too hot. So make sure you have your water set up. Then you're just going to push on. You'll see a picture of a wheel, or not a picture, but an animation of a wheel turning. Then you'll see a flame trying to light, and it'll light. Once the flame lights on the screen, you'll see the temperature start to rise quickly, up to 120 in this case. If you want to raise or lower the temperature, you can use these buttons, obviously. But from that point on, anytime you open a hot water valve, kitchen, shower, vanity, whatever, it'll just kick on and give you an endless supply of hot water. So it's great. Alright, the toilet works like all RV toilets do, in that it sits over a black tank. There's the flush pedal there. You hook up your camper at the campground, sitting in water. You come inside, you put a dose of chemical in the bowl, then you'll step on the pedal and hold it down till at least a gallon of water goes into the tank below along with the chemical, and then you're all set. You can use more than a gallon of water, just don't use less. But you have to, you can't use it dry. If you don't put chemical and water in there, it'll be a mess. It'll just, it'll get clogged up, it'll smell terrible, it'll just be a mess. So always use chemical and water, okay? Alrighty, this is a GFCI here. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI. Even if it's a regular plug, like outside I showed you where the TV plugs in. If that pops for some reason, you're still going to set it in here. Anytime you have trouble with receptacles, think GFCI. Okay? Now right now your bed is in the up position. This is the switch here. So we'll just go down here a ways. I'm not going to go all the way. I'm just going to give you an idea of what we're dealing with here. So you have your hookups here. This is this button here. You turn it on, and it lights up green here. It should always be green. That's turning on your digital antenna. So you always want that on. So you have a backing plate here for a bracket, and you have your source and your power there. This is just telling you you can upgrade this. It's pre-wired system, so you can upgrade it to like to put a router in here and a router antenna on the roof. So you basically can boost your public Wi-Fi. You get better signal, that sort of thing. So if your family uses a lot of Wi-Fi, like I'm sure they do, you might want to go to this kingconnect.com and look at their pre-wired kits to see if it's something you're interested in. Okay. This is your closet or washer dryer. It's prepped for a washer dryer, stackable or combo, whichever one you want. Okay, or you can just use it as a closet. And that about covers it here. All the rest of it is typical. Oh, one more thing, yeah. This is your power converter here. This converts AC to DC power. So right now, we have 120 AC at these circuit breakers here, and they're all labeled as we're plugged in. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC over here. So you got 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled. They're telling us that, or they're delivering all the 12 volt DC to the system. Also, it's a battery tender, so with a battery on the front and you're plugged in, it'll sense how much energy your battery up on the tongue needs, and it'll send as many amps necessary. If it's topped off, it'll just trickle a couple amps up there to keep it maintained. If it's low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever necessary to charge it up. So it's a distribution panel for AC. It's an AC to DC power converter and a battery charger. Okay, all in one. Alrighty, so that does it. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof. That's very important. People generally don't inspect it enough, so keep after that. And right now it's winterized, so you're set for the winter. And we'll see you when you come to pick it up, and we'll work with you and get you all hooked up and all set, okay? Thank you very much.